Okay, this is a refresher for 3 accessibility tools in InDesign. First, I'm going to show you how to do a test for color blindness to see how people with different types of color blindness might see your design. So there's a couple of ways to do this using online tools. One requires a URL, so use publish online to generate a URL of your document. You should see windows that look like this. And then this. Copy the link. Then paste the link into a web-based color browser check. And what we see here is actually the first page of that multi-page document. You can then click on the different color blindness tests at right to see how your image and your background and the elements of your composition will look with different types of visual impairments. Now, unfortunately, this checker does not show you all pages in a multi-page document. So there are other ways you can check color blindness. Since this one won't let you see the rest of your pages, you can use a image-based color blindness simulator. So for that, what you're going to do is need the source images that are in your document. So open up a window that has wherever you store your assets. And here's a color blindness simulator online where you just drag and drop or upload an image file and then run the tests on it. So you can do this to check images, although it's not going to help you see how that image looks against your background. You can also do a screen cap of the entire design and upload that as an image. Contrast check requires you to get the hex code for the colors that you use in text and their backgrounds. Typically, this is stuff you're seeing in headings and subheadings. A hex code is the RGB version of the CMYK percentages. So here's a color contrast accessibility checker online, and see right here it needs those hex codes for the numbers. So I'm going to select my background object first, go into the fill, check the color composition of that fill, and change it if needed, not there, but here, to RGB. So notice if it's in CMYK, I don't have a code at the bottom, but if I go into RGB, there's this little hex code down here. I'm going to copy that hex code and paste it in as my background color. And boom, look, there's that color. Then I'm going to repeat the process with my text. I'm going to get the text tool and select inside the text. Go to look at the fill for the text. Check the color composition, change it to RGB, and copy the hex code. Paste the hex code into the checker. And there it is now. And you see the results of my contrast tests, which I failed all of them. Notice they give you results for small and large text on this particular checker. So then I'm just going to repeat the process over here because I have a different background color. So same thing, change the color composition to RGB, copy the hex code, paste the hex code in my checker into the background color. I don't have to change the foreground color because my type is the same. And then when I look at the results, now I am excellent. I have good contrast at both large and small type sizes. Of course, they misspell excellent, which is annoying. Okay, content structure tells screen readers for the visually impaired what order to read the elements on your page. To do this, you need the Articles panel. So go to the Windows menu and choose Articles. Drag that over into your other panels if it doesn't go there automatically. And then all you do is with the Articles panel open, you go over and select your text frames in the exact order you want them to be read. You can change the names if you want to make it easier for you. but just drag them one at a time, but in the exact order they need to be read. And notice that it sees the difference between headlines, subheadings, and articles. So an article can have one article or story can have multiple components within it. So notice here, I've dragged all my elements over, but I have 3 articles instead of 2. So you can just drag these elements and adjust them. So I have 2 articles on this page. So I'm going to pull this one up into Article 1, move the others into Article 2, and then deselect Article 3. And now a screen reader knows exactly what order to read these in. Okay, alt text is also for the visually impaired. Tells them what an image is instead of the screen reader just saying image file. You want to select your image, go to the object menu, choose Object Export Options, change the alt text to custom, and type in your alt text. This should be a short description of only the important information in your image, and this could vary depending on your project. But basically you want it to be short, sweet, and descriptive. Click OK and repeat the process for every image in your document. So for example, in this one, for some reason, I think it's going to be important to also note that this is an illustration as opposed to, say, a photograph or something realistic. So I'm going to put that into the alt text.